you say?
Welcome everyone. Thank you for all turning up to our demonstration against tuition fees and education cuts. It's appalling what's going on, isn't it? They're going to reinforce a class society where the wealthy can afford education but the many can't. We're against this, aren't we? Also, we have the money to pay the 2 illegal wards, but there's no money for education. Why is that? You know, we're a welfare society, we're not a warfare one. So we need to move forward and keep putting pressure on the government, because there's campaigns going on across the country. We're in solidarity with students, not just in England, but internationally. We need to move towards a progressive socialist movement that will allow education and public industry for all, not just for the few. I'd like to pass you on to the SU President, Mr. Christopher Charnley.
I've come prepared.
Oh, he's come with his own one.
I'm running out of voice, so please bear with me. Today really marks the start of our Lincolnshire march and our fight against these savage cuts and these savage proposals to increase tuition fees to 9,000. Students aren't receiving more, they're getting less. And we have a duty as a Lincolnshire community to ensure that our MP, Carl McCartney, represents our views. We need to take our fight, our demonstration to him. The Student Union has so far sent a petition, we've lobbied, we're not having much luck. We need direct action, so we're calling on December 3rd for all of you guys and everybody else to take action and join us to march at Carl McCartney's advice service at 5 p.m. at City Hall. It will be an amazing opportunity for us to ensure that Carl knows that this just isn't a small collective of students, this isn't the socialist students, this isn't just the Students' Union, it's not Bishop Grot, it's not the colleges. It's Lincoln, united, and united we will stand, and united we will fight until we've had our voices heard and our fight listened to. We will continue, and it must continue. Join us as we stand and ensure that we have the right to a free education and the right to invest in our future. Thank you very much.
I'd like to now pass you on to the President of Lincoln Trades Council, Nicholas Parker.
Thank you, Jack. Is everyone all having a good day in the cold? You all there today can be very proud, because your march today is going in a long line of things that have taken place before. The French students in 1968 who marched against attacks on their conditions, the school students and college students of the 1980s who walked out of their colleges and their schools and their universities against the hated YTS scheme. You, Lincoln students of 2010, are joining students from up and down the country in marching against education cuts and tuition fees. We're proud of yourselves for that. But it's not an issue that's just affecting students. It's not just an issue that it's affecting education workers. These cuts, £81 billion of cuts that have been announced since the 20th of October in the government's comprehensive spending review, represent an attack on all working people and poor people in our society. The government think that we're going to stand aside, going to sit down and accept these cuts meekly. Well, I think people today have shown the Tories and their Liberal Democrat cowardly lackeys that we are not going to sit down and take attacks on our conditions, attacks on our jobs, attacks on our pay and attacks on our public services. We will stand up, we will fight against these cuts and against all cuts in public services, because we didn't cause this crisis, the bankers caused this crisis. workers, after they finished work, they went to a club to celebrate the election results, and they spent £60,000 on a round of drinks, including £36,000 on one bottle of champagne alone. Don't tell me that we're all in this together when we're facing attacks on our jobs, attacks on our public services and the right to education. Lincoln and District Trades Council is building a campaign against cuts in all public services and all things that we cherish in our society, and we've got a public meeting tomorrow night that I'll encourage all of you to come along to at 7 p.m. at the Friends Meeting House opposite Big Walk. We need to get out there to workers, to people who use public services, to students, to young people, and say we will not pay for a crisis that we did not cause. Working people came back from Germany in 1945 and demanded a land fit for heroes. That's why we have a welfare state. That's why we have the NHS. That's why we did have free education. But the government is looking to take all of these gains back. They said we will not return to the 1930s. I say we will not return to the 1930s now. Let's stand up together